Welcome to the Forecast by Ahom, connecting with people one story at a time. In this series, I'll be reviewing news the people in my network, are talking about. As a business founder, D&I consultant, and community builder, I know great content inspires. I'm going to react to today's story, and then Jazz, the AI, will read it aloud to you. We have so much to cover, so please like, follow, share, and let's get started. Welcome or welcome back. I'm still experimenting with podcasting, freestyling, going straight off the top. Part 2, we're talking scandals, One Love armbands, German Football Association, English Football Association, FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022. In the last episode, I spoke about hypocrisy. I spoke about hypocrisy as something that really winds me up. And that reminds me of a story. As I said, as you know, if you're listening, I'm an open book. For the most part, I have a lot of strong beliefs, values. I'm not afraid to have tough conversations. I think that progress comes after a bit of struggle. So oftentimes when you have your opinions, your beliefs, you're going to have to talk about them, talk to people about those ideas. And sometimes those discussions get a bit heated. And as I said, being an open book, inviting people to engage with my content, you get some really smart people who make you think and challenge you. But of course, you get the idiots who are just ignorant and rude. So, with that being said, let's talk about one of those idiots and how they attacked me for what I think is obvious. Let's treat people with respect, give them dignity. But this person didn't believe that, and here's what happened. So a few weeks ago, I was speaking with someone on TikTok. So I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I do podcasts occasionally. Sorry for the wait. And I was speaking about respect and how respect is often earned and it's reciprocal. So if you give people respect, you oftentimes get it back. And if you don't respect people or outwardly disrespect people, it's unlikely you're going to get respect back. That discussion went on to talk about how some groups, some ethnic groups, some people with certain religious beliefs or people from certain countries don't deserve respect. And that's where that person lost me. Completely disagree. I think we talk about dignity, communication. You have to sometimes, not sometimes. As I said, I've got these views, I've got these beliefs, and I stand by them. I would not come up on any platform and say there are certain ethnic groups, certain people from certain countries, certain societies as a widespread whole, not one or two or a group, a company, talking about an entire nation or religion. I would never say, and I don't agree with anyone who thinks that an entire group, nation, religion, ethnic group, color doesn't deserve any respect. I think that's ridiculous, and I'll war with anyone who thinks the opposite. Respectfully, of course. Anyway, his ranting and raving went on for a while, and here's a soundbite. He went on to say that these Qataris should not serve us football, but they can serve us energy. And again, that is the hypocritical bell ringing in my ear. These people who say that we shouldn't do any dealings with them, they're terrible people, that kind of stuff. If you believe that strongly, You're entitled to that belief. As I said, I've got strong beliefs. And I think when you have strong beliefs, you have to live in your strong belief. But then to be so strong in that belief and say, however, we should be dependent on their products and services, I think that's very hypocritical. And that moves us on to part two of what I'm talking about today. Part one, we were talking about the One Love armband and the change, the U-turn that some of the European football superpowers have had. I gave a potential solution of what they could do, what they might be thinking of doing in this Qatari World Cup 2022. So if you haven't heard my suggestions, go back and listen to part one. But there's been some fallout, and this is what I wanted to talk about today. The fallout is that because of the U-turn that Germany's DFB, the Deutsche Fußballbund, has done in not wearing the One Love armband because of the potential repercussions, a major sponsor of theirs, has now decided to cancel their contract. Of course, there are people cheering and saying, well, fantastic. Rewe, which is the name of the supermarket chain and the sponsor that is now cancelling their ties, they have strong beliefs about supporting the LGBTQ plus community. And because one of their partners, their main partner, has not lived in their truth, has not stuck to their guns, because of that, they cannot do business with them. Sounds good so far. Sounds clear, let's say so far. The question I have for everybody is, I'm seeing and observing people celebrating the fact that the supermarket has cancelled ties with the German Football Association because they're not wearing the armband. People are celebrating Rewe for doing that. They're saying it's the right thing. My question to everyone is, what do you think about the sponsors who have not cancelled their contract with the DFB? Does that mean that they don't support LGBTQ plus rights? Does that mean that they have no problem with the wishy-washy U-turn? What does that mean? I'm seeing people online shopping more at Rewe, or saying they intend to shop more at Rewe because they embody their personal beliefs of dignity and equality and equity for the LGBTQ plus community. So what does that mean for the companies that haven't cancelled their contracts? Do they not live their truth? Of course, Twitter is a place for mad people sometimes. And I've already read just today that some people now, they are giving VolksWagen, which is one of the main sponsors of the DFB, the Deutsche Football Association, they're giving VolksWagen a few days to cancel their contract with the German Football Association. And if they don't, they will set fire to their own cars in protest. Interesting. So, those remaining sponsors, I want to know from you. Hypothetical question, broaden the question for the listeners, for anyone who's listening. I want to know from you, if a brand embodies what you feel is right, do you buy into it more? Is the social side of things more and more important than it was in the past? Do you wear a certain brand because of their social outlook? And if there is some kind of scandal internally, would you stop using that brand? If a partner of that brand does something that you don't agree with, would you then stop wearing that brand? I would love to know. Should VolksWagen, should Adidas, should all of these brands that work with the DFB, should they cancel their contract and follow the lead of Rewe? Let me know. And that really brings us to an end of part two. I'm experimenting with the format, as I said. At one point, I couldn't turn on my computer without hearing a black guy with a podcast. So I thought I'd give it a rest and do some thinking. But here we are. I wanted to ask, or not ask, respond to a comment I got after part one, and that was talking about Qatar as a whole. So not just the One Love campaign, but Qatar as a place for the World Cup. Should Qatar have it? Should we be critical of spaces like Qatar? And I'll respond to that in a part 3. So thanks for listening. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for engaging. Please engage with me on TikTok, on Twitter, anywhere you see me. I'd love to hear your points of view. I think it's very important we have these discussions. I'm clear. I try to be clear. I think it's very important that everybody is heard, is seen, is recognized, valued. Whether you agree with someone's choices or whether you agree with someone's identity or not, I don't ever believe that violence and oppression is the answer. Sometimes you just have to accept what we all know to be true. It's a wide world full of wonderful, interesting people, different backgrounds. Respect, dialogue, understanding. These are some values. Openness. These are values. Community. These are values that work. These are values that are valuable. Aggression, hate, they don't. So that's the end of this topic. That's the end of this podcast, this episode. There'll be a third part for those questions about the World Cup. Should it be in Qatar? What is Qatar? Who's to blame? And all of those questions that I'm getting in the comments. Thank you very much. See you next time.